Hello there. Welcome back to Billy Ho Sports. We are kicking it off this week with the Whitney Stakes weekend. The preview dropped yesterday to great responses. Appreciate everybody for showing up for the video and leaving those comments because we are doing a split the pot giveaway this week. So if you're new to the channel, just check the description for details. But in a nutshell, you subscribe to the channel, you smash that like, leave a comment, and all that gets your name in the draw. Throw in that hashtag BHS for Billy Ho Sports. That helps support the channel. Today's video is going to be the two turf races. It's a pair of 8 furlong events, one Friday, one Saturday. So we're going to get into those. And a reminder, actually, what I'm going to start doing, especially with the late pick 5 video, but if it happens with other videos where we have major league scratches after these, and I give out selections to help point people in the right direction. I'm not touting these as plays. It's way too early in the week. I always make adjustments on my own. But if you check back on the videos after the scratches on Saturday, you're likely to see a pinned comment with any kind of adjustments made. So let's get right into the racing. We're going to go with Friday night's Hall of Fame. That's an 8 furlong turf event for 3-year-olds. Let's get into the past performances. Okay, one of the first things I do like to do is just kind of take a quick peek at the prime power ratings just to see if there's any significant advantages. And obviously Zulu Kingdom being in this race, having a whopping 170, that's a pretty good double-digit clip over Luther and Tank alone. So we're going 1 mile on the inner turf grade 2 event. And we kick it off with Mibago, and that's Mark Cassie and Irad Ortiz. I kind of like this guy. He's a pretty try-hard front-end runner. He's gone up against Zulu Kingdom before. He wasn't any match for him that day, but he did run fourth and held the lead pretty well through a decent pace. But you see he's faced nothing but like softer turf conditions. Good. Then that was pulled off the turf. He still almost got there in the mud. And then the pin, if you watch the race replay there, it was a yielding pin track. And that, I believe that turf is usually a softer type of turf anyway and doesn't really favor front end speed. At least that's just off the top of my head. But anyway, you can see by the video, it was really foggy going around the turn. So it must have been really just damp and moist that weekend. So yielding turf, couldn't hold, going a mile. I think he'll be much better with a firm turf. You can see what he did in the Colonel Liam down here when he had a firm turf going a mile at Gulfstream. He busted him pretty good. So keep an eye on that one. He might be some good value. Now, number 2, Luther is going to be hopefully would provide a price. Ran well in the USA debut. He's sired by Frankel, who's great. Got the distance pedigree out the Yang Yang with the 9.7, 9.2 from the damn sire and the sire. So you'd think this horse would be running more like a mile and 3/6 or mile and 3/8 or something like that, kind of like a Farbridge or one of those more marathon type turfers. But he's been content to hit it up. He ran a mile and 1/8, and now he's cutting back. So I will have to rethink this one. He's definitely a closer. I think he's just going to need, if he gets the pace, if he gets a really good swift pace, he can win the race, obviously. So Tiz Dashing brings us up number 3. Solid effort in the Manila. He might just be a good competitor in this race, but I think he's outclassed by the top. He could be a possible value play, but just kind of working his way up the ladder right now. Went right from the maiden win to the Awad. Missed that by a head. Then Kitten's Joy ran 5th, and then back down to OC, not getting there. So kind of lost his way right out of the after the maiden win a little bit. So Barkley Tag needs to regroup a little bit here, kind of getting a little bit above his skis, even going higher. So no thanks. Matty Strong's another one. I can't get with Dale Romans on Greatest Stakes. You can see he's 2%. I love Dale Romans as a trainer. I've met him several times in the past. Probably told that story before, but we used to have a box. My great aunt and uncle owned and trained horses, and we had a box that we could go pretty much get tickets to anytime, right on the 3rd floor in the sweet spot just before the finish line. Dale Romans' box was right behind ours. So whenever he had a horse running, he'd always go up to his box and watch it race. And, we had a few conversations with him. Very, very pleasant gentleman. But his horse is not going to get there. I don't like him on the front end. I'll ride with Romans and non-stakes, but not here. So Clever again. This one's an interesting one. Steve Asmussen will get Jose Ortiz to stay on board, but he didn't do very well in his last 2 efforts after he hit it big in the hot springs on the massively speed favoring Oaklawn turf or Oaklawn dirt back then. It was really speed favoring, and he ran a big 99, but you could see he got killed in the Preakness, killed in the Ohio Derby. So they said, well, he's bred American Pharoahs, suggests he likes grass. Let's try him on the grass. They got a really nice, solid 5 furlong, 59-3 work down there to get him ready. So could be a shorter distance. This could be a good race for a front runner if he takes to the grass. And I don't know. I'll have to keep an eye on the price. I can't imagine with Jose aboard, he's going to, people recognizing the name from being in the Preakness and Ohio Derby, that he's going to go unnoticed. So I don't know if how that'll work out, but we'll see. So number 6 is Out on Bail. That one, back to his law, Mike Maker trains just 2 wins and 8 starts, but he's got the in the money streak going, another 3rd place in the Penn Mile. So probably could consider an exotics, should get a faster pace to run into on the inner turf. So I think, this one is actually listed as an EP, more of a front running style. So I just think that this -8, where he was tracking the winner who wired him, just got out kicked because of the -8, and then even slower on that yielding Penn Mile. But that was his first crack at extended distance because he had gone 5.5 previously. So I think he passed the test pretty good there. So could be a sleeper, but there's just so many in here. Johnny V. So that's a good one. Obviously, what can you say about Zulu Kingdom other than he's the best horse in this race, should win the race, quote unquote, should win. But Chad Brown, premier turf horse in the 3-year-old division. So best of luck. Any condition he can run in. He's got good, firm yielding. He wins them all. He just didn't get it done that day. I'm not really sure 100% what happened to him on the juvenile turf day, but he was just a 2-year-old. So, sometimes they get amped up or maybe just a bit too excited and just kind of ran out of gas down the stretch or whatever. But that's a forgivable race. He's back on track now, going for 4 straight in 2025, undefeated. So hard not to back him. I can't not, since I've been backing him since the Columbia pretty much. So next up is Tank. Tank's been running pretty well. The Grade 1 Belmont Derby almost got there, just couldn't hang on down the stretch, going 1.125. So the shorter distance could help. He was only beating a length and a quarter, basically, or length and a half to Test Score. Test Score's an awesome horse. World Beater got in there right at the end, but you could see World Beater by a nose, and then Luther was ahead. The 4th place finish, not bad. Brush the Gate. I don't know if that affected him too much, but sometimes you need all things to go right, especially if you don't get off quite as fast. Then you have to burn up a little extra speed to get up to that lead. So maybe he got a little bit, like he ran a 97 early one, and you can see none of those since the maiden down here. He ran a 97 that early. So maybe just a little bit too fast going because he maintained a 102, but he still kept a 94 down the stretch. So not too bad for Tank. Of course, McAfee is going to be main track only. Obviously, if something happens and it gets pulled off the turf, you're going to want to look very, very hard at McAfee because he's running some really good races. He looked really good in the Ohio Derby. I'm looking forward to the next effort. If it's just maybe a grade 3, I'd like to see him maybe go out there and dominate a grade 3 somewhere, Ellis Park or wherever. It doesn't matter to me. But that rounds out the field for this one. And so I'm basically going to take Zulu Kingdom as the key horse. Key box, most likely, because I think he can lose. I think number 2, Luther, is the value. Probably not going to be a value place. Probably going to be the second choice on the board. He's second in prime power here, but who's to say? Because there are a bunch of good ones here. Mibago could get out in front end with Irad as a sleeper. Also clever again. If he takes to the turf, he's one that can get out front. But Zulu doesn't let you get too far away. If you go back and look at Zulu, he's right on your ass most of the way. So that's why I think it's going to be really tough to beat him unless you get him in like a really, really hotly contested speed duel, like what happened here, so to speak. The 14 and the 12 kind of got his goat there the one time, and the one horse that can take advantage of that would be Luther, because he is the stone cold. He's the best closer in the field, almost the only closer. Most of them are earlier pressing speed figures. So this one, if Joel can get him going a little bit better than Schumark did, we could see something with Luther. So I would tentatively, use Zulu. I still think he's the best. He's going to win, but Luther could catch him at the wire. So a trifecta key box with 7 with like 1, 2, 5, 8 would cost you $18, and maybe one of those value plays gets in there. You got the 1 Mibago, then 2's Luther. Forgive me, I forget the clever again, 5 obviously, and then you had the 8, which is Tank. So all those, they might be 5, 6 to 1 horses, but if somehow Zulu is 4 to 5 and he gets beat, then it would increase your chances of getting a decent payout. So that is your Friday race. Now we're going to jump dead into the next one. Of course, you know about the defection of Carl Spackler to Australia. So it created a little bit of a vacuum, but the Fourstardave is a turf mile challenge race. So we're going to see a few participants earn their way there, regardless of the winner. But we're going to go 8 furlongs on the turf, and this is open 3-year-olds plus for the BC Turf Mile. We begin with number 1, Cugino. And a Cugino is one I really do like. Irad gets the mount for Shug McGahee. And moving up in class, the only thing that probably matters for him, he competes in every race. Look, all the way to stupid AI. 2, 1, 1, 2, nose. And even in the American turf, he closed pretty good to 4th behind Formidable Man. Formidable Man dominated the Eddie Reed the other day. So Trickery was also another awesome horse. Then he wins the Audubon by 4 over Laginos. Don't mind that he ran like shit at Kentucky Downs. The Hill Prince was the race I went back and looked at because he ran versus Deterministic, and Deterministic is a very, very strong contender in this race. And he closed to within a length of Deterministic on a moderate pace. If you notice, I'll talk about Deterministic and pace here shortly, so hang in there. But the last 2 wins have been a little bit faster opening pace, giving him a little something to get after, and he's won both, albeit lower stakes company, obviously. So if he can make the class jump, he's a competitor. And then you have Mark Cassidy, my boy Prince. Mark Cassidy, no stranger to winning this race. He's got several victories in the past decade or so. So 15-1, missed by a neck, going 6 at Woodbine. 2 times at a mile didn't go so well. The 8.5 furlongs, no love either. So I think he's more suited for the all-weather down here with these good results, and then or the shorter sprints. So I'm going to take a pass on this one. Let him beat me. Now, this one is going to be an interesting horse to see what we want to do with. Tim Yupteen brings in Johannes. And obviously, Johannes is just nothing but a stud. He lost the American turf by a couple of lengths to Web Slinger. That was 2023. So, that's a mile. He's just a mile specialist now, pretty much. Does go a mile and an eighth in the San Gabriel to get it done. So maybe they wanted to just get him a fitness test. But he's been off for 7 months. So that's strike 1. Strike 2, never raced out of California, or never won out of California, I should say, because he lost at Churchill Downs. But every victory came, 7 victories at Santa Anita, 1 at Del Mar. So can he win outside of California? We'll see. Different situation, different turf configuration. The inner turf is a tighter turns. So that I don't know how similar that is off the top of my head. But this horse won't shock me if he wins. Rispoli's a great turf jock. I love him on the turf. So Johannes could be an underlay favorite. So we'll take a look as the week progresses. Think Big is the Godolphin Stables sprinter turned miler. Came through in the clutch in the Kelso, just came blasting up the gut down the lane with Jose aboard. Now Jose defects. I didn't see who Jose was riding. Was that up here? Bear with me. Okay, so he's going with my boy Prince. That is strange. I will have to go back and look at that to see why he wants to ride my boy Prince and not Think Big after he busted him in the Kelso. But anyway, he goes up. Sometimes it's jockey's choice. Sometimes it's owners, trainers, whatever. I don't know. I'll have to look into that. But Think Big, obviously looking for another one. Looked really good going a mile. So I think why not again? He whipped 3 other rivals in this field in that race. So Think Big, definitely 6-1. Nice value. Probably won't stay there. We'll have to see. Win for the money. Number 5 is the other Cassie horse, Dylan Davis aboard. And this one, 8-1 morning line. He's good at Woodbine, very fast on the front end, but seems to lack that closing punch. You can see the 81 where he lost, and then the 74 at Gulfstream. He did get the 91 in the Fort Lauderdale, but still didn't hold on. And that was going a mile and an eighth, so he's probably going to be better at a mile. Second off the layoff. Cassie's pretty decent with that. I've seen worse, but I'm not going to go with him here. I don't think he's got the chops for it or the closing punch against this group. But I think this one does. I think intellect. Obviously, it's Chad Brown, it's Flavian Pratt, probably going to take a ton of money out the window. But the Kelso wasn't all that, but he just had it down the stretch and then lost it. Think Big snuck up on him, I think, on the gun side and just didn't kind of surprise Pratt. And Pratt's going to be looking for this horse to get a win because he rode him to second. He rode a really good race in the poker. He got a little bit too far behind. You can see that's how he got a little bit closer the second time around. So he was there on the lead, just didn't have the kick late, so it was a really pretty fast pace. But this one, he got really far behind, 6 lengths, but he closed like with a fury and got to within a length and 3/4 of Donegal momentum. And he was pretty close closing in the mile in the 16th behind Hershey. Hershey went out and won his next. So I like this one. I think it could make me lean toward picking them to win. Then you have Spirit of St. Louis, a former state bred turned Grade 1 champion. Little pace to close into during the Manhattan, where you saw what happened in the Pegasus World Cup, where he got this plus 18, plus 14 to press into, and he closed and stole it from integration and had with a great rally, and then just kind of fluttered a little bit at Fairgrounds, and then won the Turf Classic in another closing style on good. I mean, that's probably just enough pace, 47.5 on that good surface on Derby Day for it to affect I guess the pace and maybe tire out horses a little more. So he was able to get it done there as well. So kind of an interesting horse. He can't get away with a slow pace versus better horses. So I think he's going to need a little pace to close into. Then we have the 9-2 deterministic. I want to say Miguel Clement, Kendrick Carmouche. I feel like this one's going to go off as the favorite. I think Saratoga and New York have seen enough of this horse winning races out front that for somehow, he was getting away with these lower, with the bit slower pace. But then in the Fort Marcy, like he did there, but the Manhattan was a fast pace, plus 10, plus 13, and he went all the way, was able to hold on by a head. So if he can just maybe take care of the pace scenario a little bit better, he's going to walk him again, I think. So Laginos is my boy, my try hard. I always try to get him done, but I got to put that place show money on him because he's usually you can see his odds. He's usually valued. Even in the lower allowance race, he was almost 4-1, and then he was almost 5-1 in the opening verse and got up to within a half length of Brilliant Birdie. So just the right trip and the right condition, I feel like he could get it done, but he's just probably more of a confidence play, 20-1 to hit the board like he did in the Wise Dan again. But he was in there. I mean, he was within a length of the lead down the stretch, and then just kind of got a little bit. He only got to 3/4 of a length, but -11, -5. It was kind of a different kind of race. So I don't really know what kind of setup he would need to get the win. But it feels like he's running fast and slow paces both and done well. So we'll see. He's a use for Asmussen Joel Rosario, and now we have number 10 Neat, another 20-1, which I'm a bit surprised about because he feels like a big price for a good turf horse. He won on Friday last year in the Hall of Fame going a mile as a 3-year-old, beat Laganos. Then he had a third and a seventh and the sixth, so he didn't really have a great closing or a debut. He debuted in the Grade 1 Kilrow, but he only lost by 3 1/4 to Formidable Man, who we just mentioned. Cabo Spirit, another one that's really, really good. Rob Atras trains this one. Junior Alvarado will ride again. The dinner party I looked at was an absolute disaster. This horse doesn't get the best of trips, evidently, because going back to the Henry Clark, he checked into first turn, steady, 3/8, run between and hung. That's one poor trip. Then this one was just a disaster. The dinner party. He didn't look comfortable from the very get-go. He was kind of had his head cocked to the side and running with it raised in the air. He wasn't really bobbing his head like he was rank or anything, but he just didn't look comfortable to me. And Alvarado looked like he was just kind of trying to keep him happy around the turn because he had the inside position out of the gate, breaking from post 1. But then when it came time to go around the turn, he just really checked up and just kind of got spooked because it didn't really look like he was shut off. But he had to really take him up and basically just get him out of the race. So he's got a 0 finish there. Almost the same thing happened again here. Checked up at the 3/8, swerved outside and didn't get the close. So I think he's in for a better effort this time around. Feels like a good long shot to play to me, and the outside post could make him more comfortable. So it is going to be tough to beat Johannes, but I think it's doable. Deterministic looks like the best candidate, or maybe think big. Then you have Spirit of St. Louis, who looks like a nice candidate to get out there and bounce back. But I like there's 3 value plays that look pretty juicy to me. Number 1, Cugino, number 9, Laginos, and number 10, Neat. Maybe a little bit lesser on the Laginos. I'm not really sure. I'm just a fan. So those are the 3 I'm looking at for value to use in like the exotics to maybe boost that trifecta up. I'm going to need to see the tote board after race 7 to see which of these horses have the best prices coming in, because they're all really worth a look. But I think I'm going to go with the 6 Intellect right now as like the key horse, and then we'll figure it out from there. Like I said, check the pinned comments for updated selections and stuff. But then you have underneath anything from the 1, the 4, the 7, the 8, the 9, and the 10. So it is spread around a little bit. But I will say this: the picture could become a lot clearer. It is a turf race. There's always scratches. I don't foresee any weather coming in, but you never know with Saratoga. I know it's like supposed to rain Thursday maybe, but Saturday looked really nice and sunny. But there is tons more to come, so we'll get clarity after the scratches come out. The late pick 5 video will be out this week. Some undercard stakes. I noticed the Saratoga Special is for the 2-year-olds. I'm going to look into that a little bit. That might be kind of a bonus video sometime. And then the test and Saratoga Derby, things of that nature are coming. Remember to sub to the channel and leave that comment to get your name in the draw for the Split the Pot, peeling off money to actual people. So we can win money, and it takes 20 seconds of your time basically to do that, to hit that subscribe and like. Use the hashtag BHS and put in who you think is going to win. Do you think somebody's going to beat Zulu Kingdom, or whatever your feelings are, or like some of my fans say, BHS for president. President of what? I don't know. AARP maybe. So anyway, best of luck this week. And we'll see you soon. Thanks.